Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. This is the final episode of Part 2, so what I am referring to as the second third of this season, because there's apparently a Part 3 of Season 4 coming out next year. So yeah, it is really odd the way that they've decided to do that. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember like any other show doing something like that, to having like a third part of the season. Like generally they end up doing, you know, like an arc or two, like split into two arcs over the course of a sort of like a 25 episode on average season. So I'm wondering if they just, like, if beforehand, before they started season 4, they predicted that they would be able to fit in the rest of the entire story within, you know, just like 2 parts, so about, you know, 28 episodes as it is, but then realized that they actually couldn't, so they just kind of had to opt for a part 3. I don't know, but yeah, so this is the end of the second third of season 4, and in the last episode, Magath, known as General Magath, and Keith Shardis met up, and then within like the I don't know, like the course of about half an hour, they'd sacrifice themselves and become best buds, you know, surrounding that whole thing, to take out the 1 Malian ship that was actually docked that could catch up to the ship that's currently towing the flying vessel. You know, so basically in a way that they can kind of go out, sacrifice. They've kind of done their job. They're sick of the world. You know, they've done what they can. They decided to go out with a bang, and so they did. Flock got shot, but you know, unless you truly see like the light leave their eyes, then there's, you know what I mean, there's no guarantee that he is actually dead. But who knows? I mean, he dropped into the middle of the dock, and not too long after that ship did explode. So I don't know, maybe the aftershock killed him. But we didn't see it, so so I'm gonna hazard a guess that he's not actually dead. And the thing is if he is actually dead, I would have much preferred just to see the bullet go through his head. You know what I mean? Just so we're not like, we've always got that thing in the back of our minds going into, you know, I don't know if we'll see him in this episode, but like going ahead in the story, if it's like just in the back of our head, that, oh yeah, by the way, Flock's still alive, you know. So, I don't know. I'm going to assume that he's not dead. Annie was told about basically the unlikelihood, or basically the impossibility that they were never going to be able to get to Liberio. So, in that way, you know, she knows that her father is not going to make it out, and that was her reason for living. And there was a nice little scene actually at the end where we seen Annie in sort of like a state where, like, we've never really seen her before, where she was almost like kind of, you know, she was sick of fighting and everything, and even sick of, like, she doesn't even want to fight Eren. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out with her and what she feels like when it finally comes to, I guess, a battle. I mean, I don't even know how a battle would commence, you know, like, because of the sheer volume of Wall Titans. Like, how would it... I can't even imagine it. The scale would be ridiculous. Especially when you're talking about just a... You know, I mean, I know that all of our squad are powerful and fucking amazing in their own right, but you're talking about just the volume, the sheer size of it is colossal. It's even past colossal, because we have already got the Colossal Titan. But, you know, and we're talking about millions. So... I don't know, man. It'll have to take like a cut off the head of the snake kind of deal, I guess, with Eren, right? I suppose. Yeah, man. We also saw Falco's Jaw Titan, which is really cool as well. It looks proper sick. I love the fact that it's like got, you know, I mean, we saw Galliard had like the kind of facial mask thing, but you know, Falco's is more like he's wearing a skull over the top. it's crazy, like some kind of animal skull. And we're still yet to see whether or not he can actually clamp that on his own, you know. I don't know. I mean, we saw it against like the Cart Titan when obviously he was rampaging because it was his first time changing over. That you know, it did actually sort of clamp down, but that's because obviously it was a target that fit directly into the size of that mouth. So I don't know. And yeah, so they're on their way currently to Odiha, which is a Malian coastal city where there is actually a hangar with proper equipment. They said that they can do it in half a day, and they are kind of against the clock because that Eren is kind of on his way there. I don't know how they would have figured that out. I mean, I guess just judging, I guess on average they had deduced that it would take 4 days to just entirely wipe the continent. So, you know, eventually they have to go there. And obviously, I guess starting from where he initially was on Paradis to going across and then coming back. I refer to it as kind of like mowing the lawn. What? Mowing the lawn. I got that completely wrong. Alright, okay, whatever. Enough talking, because clearly, you know, I'm fucking losing it a bit here. So we are going to get into episode 28 and see what we get. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion only, and a link to the reaction will be in the description below. As always, a link to the full-length reaction to this episode is in the description below as well, so if you do want to watch my full-length reaction to this episode and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to talk about. So we're going to get in episode 28 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. This is not what if. The dawn of humanity. Wow, okay. There he is. That horse. Alright, so he did come. Yeah. It's interesting, I never really anticipated that he would have. It's going to be interesting to see his perspective here because there was a massive change in his personality from the end of season 3 to season 4. Oh, for God's sake! This guy's a paedophile, he must be. God, kill him! Kill him, Levi! Of course, Levi knows all about this. Leg it!
血液検査の技術向上に伴い世界中で収容から逃れたユミルの民の存在が発覚し問題となっております。そしてパラディ島から友好を図る本計画も極めて困難であると言わざるを得ません。
和平の道を諦めるならジークの謀略に加担するしかなくなります。明日の国際討論会で初めて登壇するユミルの民保護団体とやらを求めてね。
依然としてその団体の理念は明らかではありません。パラディ島が和平を望んでいることを表明する。
とても困難であることは分かっています。とても危険であることも。しかしだからといって最善を尽くさないことはできないのです。
戦争で居場所をなくした人たちが集まって暮らしている。俺たちもそうだった。ある日突然日常が終わって、何もかもが奪われた。お前はどうして俺のことを気にかけてくれるんだ？俺はお前のなんだ？
The hell of a question. It's loaded.
あなたは家族。
もてなしてくれるみたいだ。
何やってんだってバカじゃねえのか。
Well, they're all getting invited now. Man, it's nice to see him smiling again, man. The good times. Oh god, they're all getting involved. It's a massive party now. Oh god, I was wondering when Levi was going to show up and see this.
彼ら難民はエルディア人であったこともなく、エルディア帝国の危険思想とは無縁なのです。憎むべきは島の悪魔どもに他なりません。忌むべきは100年前よりあの島に逃げた悪魔。
There goes Eren again.
あの日からエレンは私たちの
It
元を
was
去
that.
った。
Hearing that.
その後、
Ah,
彼から届いた手紙にはジークに全てを委ねると記され、
yeah, he completely changed.
他に選ぶべき選択肢があっただろうか。の時、もし私が別の答えを選んでいたら。
It's so interesting seeing this like this time frame that we never got to see.
始まりだろう。
I'm getting Eren's side of it now. His point of view.
どこでもいい。すべては俺が望んだこと。すべてはこの先にある。
脊髄液入りのワインは改革の障害となる兵団上層部のみに振る舞いました。
俺はジークの計画に従うふりをする。
No, it's
お前もそうしろ。憲兵と争うか。ここから逃げるしか手はない。
この島が生き残る一番堅実な方法があれば、私はそれに従う。でもあの時エレンが私をかばってくれて、みんなが動いてくれたから。
お前が良くても俺は違う。世界を滅ぼす全ての敵を。
そんなの間違ってる。島の外の人全てが敵じゃないのに。
分かってる。でも憎しみによる報復の連鎖を完全に終結させる唯一の方法は、
I mean, he knows.
憎しみの歴史を文明ごとこの世から葬り去ることだ。
Thinks as long as there's people
親子同士を
around.
殺し続けるような真似は俺がさせない。
あなたを何としてでも止めないと、二度と胸を張って生きていくことができない。
耐え難いなら始祖の力で記憶を操作する。それまでお前が黙っていれば。
Wanted to raise our memories
ア
to.
ッカーマン一族に特有の疾患があるなんて巨人学やクサバーさんからも聞いたことないな。宿主を守る習性、そんなものないと思うぞ。
Was asking the question though, whether
そ
it
の行為
was.
には正体も習性もやむにやまれる理由もない。
He wanted to know.
お前はどう答える？
何言ってんだ兄さん。俺は長生きしてもあと4年しかないんだぞ。
私が子供を作るのはどう？
Shit. His story was offering up a fucking. God,
俺が
Eren.
死んだ後もずっとあいつらの人生は続いてほしい。
Jesus. Just willing to give it all up for them.
幸せに生きていけるように。
世界連合艦隊、この地球上に存在しうる最も巨大な大砲のほぼ
Shit.
すべて
Shit.
今ここに集結した。
Oh my god. Oh my god, they're actually swimming! I didn't know what I was expecting. There's too many. There's too many. Jeez. Holy fuck. Oh my god. I mean, you would be fucking shitting yourself witnessing that. Where's Eren during all this? Oh god, look at that one! Fucking hell. I can't believe they went to old school music as well. I got goosebumps, man. Jesus. You can't run from that, man. You can't. Oh, here he is. What the fuck? Oh my god. That is fucking horrifying. God. Oh my. Fuck. Bastard. Okay, episode 28, The Dawn of Humanity. What a fucking way to finish off the part 2. That was horrific, man. That was terrifying. I mean, you know, there's always been talk about like this when it eventually caught up in the anime. There's always been talk about, you know what I mean, the rumbling, and being like, well, what the fuck is all that about? Because I guess the term rumbling never really, like, I don't think it was ever said until about episode 5 maybe of season 4. Was it maybe like during Willie's speech or something like that? Like there was something around there. I don't know. It was sometime around there anyway. But man, that was like just watching it is like one of those moments again in this show where you just kind of like watch in awe at just the magnitude of it. Like the scale is ridiculous. And I've always praised this show for its scale because it's always done this thing where like the way that they frame shots like allow it to get that sense of scale. Like for example, when, you know, all the way back in season 1 they had the, you know what I mean, like they had like a slight fisheye lens of and they were always looking up because you were always looking at the Titans and everything like that, and then just seeing it like at the end here in this episode where like it's just a pure wide frame and you're just looking at just like nothing but like smoke and fucking like all of these fucking missiles being shot at the Titans, and then just not being able to stop the Titans because of just the sheer like just volume of them. It didn't even put a dent in them. I can't believe they even managed to get like, I mean, they're talking about like ships and navy and whatever from all around the globe. Like this was like their last sort of bastion. Like if they didn't finish it there, then that's it. That's the end. So now all we've got left is the squad to essentially change Eren's mind. Because like I said, I don't know how they. I don't know. You could cut off the head of the snake, I guess. You could kill Eren, and then that would. But then doing that doesn't just immediately get rid of the wall titans, does it? Like where do they go? You know. So it's not. That's not like a be all end all. So I almost feel like there would have to be some sort of like Eren. I don't know, man. There's only two ways this can end for me. Either Eren manages to go through with it and everyone does end up dead anyway, or our squad, somebody, maybe Mikasa, whoever, gets through to him, and he goes back on wanting genocide of the rest of the Earth, and then he forces the rest of the Titans to harden up again. Like that's generally the only way I could see it coming to an end. So insane, man. Seeing the Titans swim, I had in my head this whole time, because they're massive, right? But also when you're thinking about it, it is like you're talking about the ocean. You know what I mean? If a colossal titan is what are they? They're 100 meters, right? The ocean goes way deeper than 100 meters, you know. But I guess when you're just thinking about it, you're just trying to think of it as a way of that. Well, they're just they're like, you know what I mean. They're just crossing it in terms of like that. Nothing changes about the way that they travel. Like if they're walking across the bottom of the ocean, and that's what they do. You know, I never imagined in a million years that they would swim. It's such a weird, funny sight. But I mean, when they all just hit the ships, the way that was animated, man, of the guy literally like his flesh just burning away, that was brutal. That was brutal, man. God, I mean, Armin's was brutal when it happened to him, but like there was some details in this one that was like, Jesus, so well animated, man. And Eren looks mad. He's like he's like hanging from like the front of the massive like rib cage, like some sort of like just conductor, just telling them which way to go. You know, he's like a fucking, it's like a steering wheel essentially. Just mad. A great episode though to end this part, this part 2. It was really, really, really well done. I did like the fact that we did go back and flashback to during that time between the end of season 3 and the start of season 4, because it allowed us to actually genuinely see the change that Eren went through. Because I remember, like, as soon as he came back in season 4, it was like, fucking hell, he's different. Like, it's almost like nothing phases him, because at that point he'd made up his mind exactly what he wanted to do. And having this episode allowing us to see into that, the reasons why he changed, and I'm glad that we got it from his point of view, his perspective, because these past few episodes, I was totally, I just was on board with this idea. Like, I mean, I still am. Like, you know, this genocide thing, like, it can't go through. But I guess I got a bit detached from him, and I don't think I want to do that, because Eren as a character is like, you know what I mean. We've seen the reasons why he wants to do it, and he knows that it's bad. He knows that it's like it's wrong, but to him, it's like this is almost like a greater good kind of thing for him, in terms of the people that he loves. That the only way to really nip all of this in the bud, like as long as the ideology that people around the world, as long as they are alive, distributing like all of this knowledge to their children, basically saying the island devils and this and that, you know what I mean, that they're just these evil monsters. As long as people are around to keep that ideology up, it'll never stop in Eren's eyes. So he's like, well, I have to eradicate them all then. And that's it. That's his way of thinking about it. And I think there was a few times, and it's interesting, like, because when watching it in real time, I was wondering, is it the sort of the meeting that they have with like other Eldians that aren't on the island, right? And they're basically talking about like, we were basically like forcibly like interbred with them and stuff like that, and it's not our fault, it's the island devils who are the evil ones and everything. It seemed as though in real time that was the moment where Eren, because Mikasa literally pointed out, like, that's the last time we saw Eren like as he was, that maybe like that was it, that was like the final straw. But then there was a moment beforehand where he was up on top of, like, he was over the sort of refugee camp, and he shed a tear, and I was wondering, is it a case of like, is he crying because he knows there's layers to this one, because there's a multitude of things it could be. Either it's he knows he's going to have to kill these people who are exactly the same as us, but that would mean that he came to the conclusion that he's going to commit genocide before the Eldian meeting thing. So that one's like I don't know, a bit iffy on that one. The other one is like it's basically front and center. It's literally like he's crying because he witnesses people who are just like him, and you know, in parody and everything. It's not just them. And then the other thing is like this whole thing with Mikasa that I really enjoyed, and actually watching Eren when he's speaking to Zeke and actually asking, really, like, do you actually believe that there is something within the Ackermans that have this sort of like innate thing to protect their, you know, their host or whatever? And Zeke basically nipping that in the bud right there. And basically to Eren from then, it's interesting when he asks Mikasa, like, you know, like, what am I to you? I'm wondering, is he asking, is he asking, is it family, or do you love me, kind of thing? And I wonder, this is why one of my things is like, when he's like, does he know that he's going to kill these refugees? Like, is he trying to find an answer of what is going to be her life after he's gone? Because he says that he's only got 4 years left anyway. So it's like, if you like say that you love me, then I don't know, maybe that might be enough to sort of persuade him away from the fact that he's going to commit genocide. Because he might not know what Mikasa does after the fact. But if it is just family, like she says, then it's like, I'm sure she'll be fine afterwards. You know what I mean? That she'll find some life partner after. So that's kind of what I took away from it. But if I'm wrong, if you've got other theories, let me know in the comments, of course. So yeah, and then like the party, I never thought that we'd actually see another like truly happy moment again, you know what I mean? Like a one where they could like kind of let loose. I know it was obviously a flashback and whatnot, but I didn't know if we were generally going to see it again. It almost felt like, and I remember saying it in the episode where the rumbling actually began, I was like, it almost feels like this is a, like from now until then, it's like, damn, like, you know, we're in dark times here, you know, and I don't think it's ever going to let up. But to see like that moment of, you know, where they're having their, and just to see Eren smile again was actually nice, you know. So yeah, and then obviously, you know, Mikasa is the as sort of like the narrator for that first half. I like that it was actually split into two halves, the perspective of like Mikasa seeing Eren go through the change and wondering what does it mean, and asking herself, like, you know, what if I did this, if I said something different, would it have always went this way? And then it cuts over, and then the second half you've got Eren talking about it and almost coming out at the very beginning saying, like, you know, like he's also kind of questioning, was it always this way? Because he says that, like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, I guess, because he'd already made up his mind. But like, it's that thing, the fact that he's questioning is interesting, because it almost puts in it almost has that little seedling of doubt, which I think is necessary for this genocide to stop. So I think the fact that he's questioning it means that there is still something there that can be got at, but it will be difficult, no doubt, to get through to him. But I think it can happen. And I don't know, maybe it comes down to Mikasa to literally say I love you at the end. That's what I meant to say, you know, when you asked me the first time. Maybe that's what it takes. Just that it could get through. Who knows? Yeah, so like they were talking about as well, like there was blood tests going on. I mean, I don't know. I don't know like how far back I guess it would have, like, during that time. I guess because like we get an idea of, like, by their clothing and everything, like roughly what century they're in, right? We're talking like early 1900s, really, right? Is roughly the time period. You know, and they would have had injections and stuff like that, and like things that they can use for blood tests and stuff to determine whether or not. So I guess, yeah, they do have them. was interesting seeing like the quick situation, like how quick the situation changed as well. Like when they first got off the boat, like it's all bustling and everything's happy and it's like eating ice cream and everything, and then all of a sudden like Levi's like, no, that purse isn't yours, and everyone like immediately like it all changes it, and they start calling, you know what I mean? They start calling them like Eldians, and it's like fuck, like Christ, like, it only took that, and yeah. Historia as well, we got her. It's interesting with her, like I wonder, after that rumbling episode we did see like her from behind, and we haven't seen her a lot, we haven't seen her face for ages, and we got it in here, but there's that in the rumbling episode or the episode after, we see her kind of like on her chair just looking at like, you know, in the distance as like the rumbling goes by and everything. Has he actually erased the memories at this point then? Is like the way that the fact that she's facing away from us this whole time has been to signify that she's had her memories erased, but that can't be right though, because that means he would have had to have. That means during that, because he can only do it at one point, and that is when he's literally connected with the founder, right? So he couldn't have done it before the rumbling, obviously. But if he'd done it like as the rumbling was going on, he's able to just pinpoint like and identify like an individual, and just because I guess we never really got an idea of as to how the memory erasement thing works. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like distance or what? Like, can you really just pinpoint on an individual from that far away and erase a memory? And also, I think that would actually go against. I don't know. I just feel like it would go against what Eren would want, because if he does, how much does he erase of the memory? I guess it's just to erase the fact that he had the talk with Historia that he was going to do this, right? So she would still be friends with him, right, and everything. She would know them. I guess that would be it, yeah. But yeah, it was nice. I was in the middle of putting down Historia as willing to go along with the plan kind of thing, but then it once Eren was like, no, I mean, like, I'm talking about genocide of the world, and then yeah, she was like, no, that's wrong, whatever the case. And the one thing I can't get my head around is she offered up, like, what if I was pregnant? So I'm guessing when they had that talk, Historia was pregnant at the time, but she wasn't showing as much, I guess. And it wasn't like something like offering pregnancy as an option. I don't know, man. You guys are going to have to help me with that one, because, yeah, that one kind of took me by surprise. So yeah, I mean... what a great way. Great way to end it. And now we have to wait another year. Oh, God. Yeah, it's going to be a long wait, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. It's going to be fun though. It's going to be a hell of a time, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go from that. I think I've got everything I really did want to talk about there. It was nice seeing Sasha again, man. You know, just to give with that, you know, that last bit, seeing them happy and everything. But you can see there, like even with like Eren, like, you know, going through that sort of just that time frame of when he changed, that, you know, you can see the reasonings why, like, to him, genocide is like the viable option. Because I guess it's easy from the outside looking in, saying like, fucking genocide, come on, man. No matter what the cause is, but you see the transformation, the reasons why he's doing it. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting going forward. But anyway, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord. You can get stuff over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of tiers and rewards there, like early access gives you access to shows a week early. There's the full-length tier, which gives you access to all of the full-length reactions to the shows that I do. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to all the full-length movie reactions that I do as well. And movies are coming up very soon, so keep an eye out for those. But that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.